last is you'll notice that uses brings out what became in the end the title of this guidance. The title was the Organization for Kosen Rufu, the great enriching fertile plain of humanity. He says in this second paragraph, just this, being capable of limitlessly nourishing and enriching plain of humanity. This is so graphic, which has been chosen. And that is the second point about Buddhist teachings. You will always find that the title contains the essence or the heart of the whole teaching. Now, the most dramatic, if you like, example of that is Myoho Renge Kyo, which is the title of the Lotus Sutra. Myoho Renge Kyo contains within it everything that is in that 28-volume sutra. The title which you choose for an article should also contain the essence you're writing it for the UK Express, or if you like, the Daily Express. It doesn't matter what. The article, the title should contain the essence. Then the title is deep in meaning, and people will remember it. This is an incredible title. It has richness in it itself. Great current enriching the fertile plain of humanity, isn't it? Something stirring. That people will remember the teaching also through the title. Too far. Good. In that last sentence says the organization enables each individual to develop a true sense of security, to receive inspiration, and develop his or her capability. Security is important. Security means, in that sense, a safe place, a warm place in which to grow. You have a group. Group consists of 7 or 8 people. Those 7 or 8 people learn, discover through chanting Dhamma the need to care for others, to respect the lives for others. They care for each other. And in that, maybe women, men, young women, they're all discovering the joy they can get through caring. So in that small group, even though it may be alone in some town somewhere in this country, there is a warmth. The people in that group, even though it's small, are in one mind. They all want to learn more about Buddhism, gain benefit, of course, from practicing. They're beginning to feel something about the movement of Kosen. So there is a warmth, a harmony between. Sometimes one person may be out of harmony, but then all the others struggle with that dichotomy to pull them back into harmony. Or the person who is out of harmony feels uncomfortable because they are, through dichotomy, struggle to get back into rhythm with love. So through this process, even in such a small group as the ward, that applies, of course, on a larger and larger scale. The chapter. This is the fertile ground in which people develop their faith. To try to develop it on your own is extremely difficult. Some of you in regions may have had experience. You need warm, nutritious earth in which to make part of your life grow. Then it says to receive inspiration. Without inspiration, life becomes stagnant. with inspiration, life can evolve. Inspiration, if you like, is like the fertilizer, which helps plants to grow. The earth is the main source that plants grow. Fertilizer gives it a boost, doesn't it? So inspiration is that fertilizer. We come on this call. We get inspiration just by being together. I'm sure you'll agree we can get inspiration by nearly 300 of you doing Daimoku together. And we can get inspiration by Dr. Yamazaki coming over from Paris. Fresh view, fresh way of explaining things. We can get inspiration by reading the Gosho, but whatever happens, we need it. When Sensei came here in 1975, he said, the hearts of the British people run very deep. Just said it, private conversation. He said, I really understand that. So that spirit needs feeding, especially if it runs deep. We need to be fed spiritually. That is what our activities can do. So the inspiration, again, would be non-existent unless of an organization, unless of friends who are practicing the sideline with whom one was in contact, who could actually help you understand. The third point, he says, is to develop his or her capability. That is to say, mission. That is what that means, develop his or her capability. Capability of fulfilling what gradually becomes clear is one's mission, one's purpose in life. So far as Kosen Rufu is concerned. That we may be training to be doctors, as we may be learning to drive a bus, whatever it is we're doing, our mission is where we are. In our families, our working circumstances, our social circumstances. That is where our mission lies. So I think probably maybe in the lectures yesterday came up. I hope you're clear about the concept of Kosen Rufu. Kosen Rufu is where you stand on your own individual path of life, whatever that may be at this particular moment, or in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years' time. Where you are, where your path lies. Kosen Rufu is not action in a greater gathering like this. This is inspiration for us to be able to go out to our own individual path. That is where we do Kosen. Kosen Rufu, in the end, is the activity of one individual standing on his or her own, on his or her particular path of life, whatever that may be. This is what Kosen is. So we come together like this, the district discussion meetings, studying everything, and then we part together. We go our own ways, each of us following a totally different path to everyone else. That is where power of the gods working within our lives gets to work, brings about actually change for the better, change, improving lot people also on a particular path. Once obvious. Kosen Rufu is not just doing Shanbuku. Kosen Rufu is bringing wisdom of gods and working in us back on our particular path of life, in our particular profession or job, in our skill. Gradually, this is inevitable because the way that we all feel that it was chance that you'll follow. So the whole process of Kosen Rufu or its life the movement, bodhisattvas of the earth, which we all are deep down, on the surface of life, maybe businessmen or whatever. The whole process of one coming together again, inspiring each other, and then going off again to our individual paths, where we stand alone, as it's called, and bring about this process is not only happening here, it's happening all over the world. More than 115 countries now, through members coming together, encouraging and inspiring each other, and then moving on to their chosen path, where they actually do where they actually do Shakabuku, in their families, in their working places, in their social lives, working through Shakabuku, but also bringing wisdom and arms them to bear in their workplace professions, which in the end can't fail to lead to the wisdom and arms them eventually real change. It takes time. This is the process. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. The crucial point, what you do, what I do in our own individual lives, that is the crucial point. That is what we want the child to be able to achieve. Do something. And in the end, to create happiness, our particular sphere of action, to put out the norms for others, as I said. Also, of course, this organization is current, since it relates, say, this steady, strong, surging human current, isn't it? Flowing, moving throughout the world. It is the vehicle for the master of the disciple relationship. Master and disciple relationship is difficult sometimes for us to understand. Yet, in fact, it's commonplace. Master and disciple relationship is someone who has experience, giving their experience, knowledge, and their wisdom to others who are prepared to listen and use it themselves. Not use it in terms of following it like a tame monkey, or repeating it like a tame parrot. But taking it into their lives, all that experience and understanding that they hear from Master, and then bringing it out when needed in their own local service, on their own path, blended with their understanding of their local service. You follow? So this is nothing like the master-disciple relationships we read about in the Bible, or which we read about in the other religion or social activity. Because this is not following in the footsteps of the master. It's not standing under the umbrella which the master's holding up. It's not imitating the master. It's not being the slave. It's having the good sense as an ordinary human being to listen to someone who has greater experience of oneself. Taking, as I say, that guidance into one's life, putting it to the test and proving it for oneself, and then using it. That is what master and disciple relationship is. Otherwise, matters of faith, matters of faith must be kept absolutely strictly in accordance with the teachings of the tradition, way we puts down offerings, the way we care for the alms, the way we chant, the way we do Gongyo, all these things must be kept strictly. Whatever country in the world their faith has been practiced. But so far as they run our meetings or our organization, that's the local settings. So even within this country, in the future, you will probably gradually find the Manchester way of doing it. So you'll find it now, or typically the Birmingham way. Different, a bit difficult London way. Each area should reflect its personality in the way it's played. Cosmic notion in political universe. As far as matters of faith, absolutely strictly kosher. So it's lunchtime, and we must be pretty hungry. Yes, there's someone. I think we can just really need you to read the rest, and I've said all the most important points. So in conclusion, I said the other day, what since they said when we first came to the province, we wanted everyone to be like lighthouses. It's the organization which helps people to be lit up like lighthouses. Teacher was talking about the way in which constant and shining. People can say, what's different about that? It's so different. Not 6 months. Why? Because your life is lit up. 5,000 grains. This is what brings about Buddhism. This is what helps you to be able to influence others, maybe with some small reform in your work ethics, which can make life easy. People, that small step rising in wisdom and lead to many steps, but can in the end change the whole company or a whole factory or a whole school. That's the way it is. Okay, everybody. Yeah. Thank you very much.